People usually jump straight to Adam Smith, Karl Marx, or, if they go a little further back, Aristotle when the foundations of economic thought are mentioned. This is generally the story taught in schools. Yet in a quieter corner of history, there lies another truth that rarely finds a place in Western narratives. Approximately 1,000 years ago, when capitalism did not yet exist and central banks had not been established, a Muslim thinker issued a striking warning about the relationship between money and morality. According to him, when money loses its moral compass, societies begin to rot from within, even if they appear strong on the outside. Looking at what we experience today, it is hard not to think that he understood us far better than we might assume. Welcome to Finance Across History, where money, power, and history intersect. Here, nothing is ever as simple as it seems. To understand this thinker, one must first imagine the world he lived in. While the calendars showed approximately the year 1100, Europe had fragmented, become impoverished, and was only beginning to emerge from the darkness of the Middle Ages. In contrast, the Islamic world was experiencing economic and cultural dynamism across a vast region stretching from Al-Andalus to the Persian lands. Baghdad, Damascus, and Cairo were not merely cities. They were centers where trade, knowledge, and money flowed abundantly. Silk, spices, textiles, and silver were carried along caravan routes. Money changed hands in markets. Law, philosophy, medicine, and astronomy were debated in madrasas. Wealth was increasing, and society was transforming rapidly. However, this transformation did not produce positive outcomes for everyone. It was during this time that Hamid al-Ghazali emerged onto the scene. He was a thinker who could not be confined to a single field, a jurist, a theologian, a philosopher, and a sharp critic of society. He was able to discuss the meaning of the soul while simultaneously questioning why a monetary system should exist. Born in 1058, Ghazali quickly entered the most respected scholarly circles of his time. At a young age, he assumed significant responsibilities. What set him apart, however, was not his rank or position, but his willingness to ask unsettling questions. Despite the growing wealth, he sensed that something was wrong within society. Money was increasing, trade was expanding, yet the sense of meaning was gradually weakening. An economy that appeared vibrant from the outside was decaying day by day on the inside. It is not difficult to recognize this picture today. Ghazali asked the following question: what happens when a civilization becomes rich faster than it becomes wise? While searching for the answer to this question, he turned his focus to money itself. This was precisely what distinguished him from other thinkers. Ghazali approached money not merely as a technical instrument, but as a moral force that shapes society. He examined how money influences human behavior, trust, and social order. According to him, money was not an end, but a means. It was not something to be worshipped, hoarded, or turned into a symbol of status. He likened money to a mirror. A mirror has no value on its own. Its value comes from what it reflects. Money is the same. It derives its meaning not from gold or silver, but from what people are able to produce with it. From this perspective, he arrived at a very important conclusion. Money that does not enter the system is dead money. Wealth stored in chests, hidden away, or buried in the ground was not only useless, but also socially harmful. Because money that does not circulate does not reach workers, does not sustain trade, and does not keep families standing. It clogs the capillaries of the economy. Ghazali described this as the freezing of the blood circulation of society. His criticism was not directed solely at individual greed. He argued that the problem was systemic. When the wealthy withdraw money from circulation, an artificial scarcity emerges even if there is no real shortage. Prices become distorted, markets fail to function, and everyone is forced to pay the price. From here, he moved on to another sharp criticism: speculation destroys trust. Ghazali openly condemned those who profited from crises, manipulated prices, or turned people's difficult situations into opportunities. According to him, such gains were based not on production, but on decay. Where trust disappears, the market cannot survive. When trust collapses, the economy collapses right behind it. Despite this, Ghazali was not opposed to trade. On the contrary, he believed that trade was natural and necessary. He accepted that profit could be legitimate. What he opposed was fraud, using false weights, concealing defects, lying in sales, and gaining advantage by manipulating information. In his view, trust was the fundamental fuel of markets, and when this fuel was exhausted, the system came to a halt. He also placed great value on labor. He argued that money earned through work strengthened a person, whereas wealth obtained without effort weakened both the individual and society. Societies grow strong through contribution and collapse through exploitation. Ghazali extended his criticisms to rulers as well. He regarded the debasement of currency, tampering with its value, as outright theft. He stated that this practice particularly harmed the poor, undermined trust in the market, and caused the system to collapse from the top down. The duty of the state was to protect the market, not to manipulate it for short-term interests. If these warnings made centuries ago sound strikingly familiar today, the reason is simple. History changes, names change, but the tension between money and morality never changes. And that is precisely why it is impossible to understand today's economy without understanding the past. Finance across history exists for exactly this reason.